So native's been open to the public for a long time now, and all the native tutorials still suck. So welcome to a tutorial that's going to teach you the very basics of how to play as a native. Alright, so there's a bunch of natives here, and they're planning to attack Noob or you. That's going to be an interesting game. So you want a bunch of epic gear like I have, but you just logged on to Northwind, and you have no clue how to play the game, and you picked native. Welcome to the hard life. So the first step to getting epic native gear is going to be to craft a knife. Now, the crafting menu is open by hitting C, alternatively you hit this thing up here, and then you get access to all these items you can craft, but you'll notice you won't be able to craft very many of them, because they're all grayed out, meaning you don't have the materials for it. Before we actually make your knife, you're going to need to get the materials, and to do that, you're going to need the hatchet. So every native starts out with a hatchet. It's a tool that you can use to chop trees and carve rocks. It's also a weapon, but it kind of sucks. There's differing opinions on stone weapons, so first thing you want to do is find one of these to make your knife blade, where you then hold out your hatchet, and you're going to carve, and then that's how you carve rocks. And then you can come to a tree like this one, or depending on the wood you want, you could go for something like that orange-leafed maple over there. Then you're going to stand next to it and hold down your axe to chop the trees, and then you want to chop it again once it's fallen down, and then hold E to pick up the logs. Okay, so once you have it, you'll notice it's here, but there's still no option to craft it yet, which is because currently it's trying to use a beige deer antler. To use a stone rock is to click this one here, and then now we can craft it. Though you can make any three of the knives, I think they all work relatively the same. If you wanted it to have like a cool name like Dude Slayer or something. And then we open our inventory with G. Here we can see that in my inventory I now have the tribal blade, which you want to hit F to equip here. Holding it will put it here. It's how you drop stuff and show it to people. But you're going to want to equip your tribal blade here. And then once it's equipped... Oh, there's a... Okay, we have an AFMAL fan following us for some reason. Anyways, so hold tab and then all your things you have equipped will show up here. I have a lot of things. We'll just focus on the blade we just put there. Okay, so now we have a blade which can be used as a weapon. It stabs, takes really low stamina, but also doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So the next thing you want is a bow. Specifically, you're going to want a long bow because they're the most damage per hit. So to make your awesome bow, first you're going to need to harvest some of these flax plants here. Once you've successfully unrooted enough flax plants, open your crafting menu. Here we have fiber string that we can craft, and we're going to craft that. You're probably going to need more than one bush worth of leaves, as it takes 3. Then once you have enough fiber string, what you're going to need is some logs. Now, any logs will work as long as you have 5 of the same type. But the most common logs are these pine trees here, so I'd recommend staying with them. So once you have your logs back in the crafting menu, these things are all optional. You can make your bow look cooler by adding things onto it if you'd like. We're just going to keep it simple. Again, you can rename it to anything. And then once you have your bow, you can hover over it and hit F to equip it. Because this is an item you're going to use in combat to fight, is you want to be able to quick draw it. So while in the tab menu, if you hit a number like 2 or 1, it's going to assign that to the specific slot you had, 2 or 1. So then I can hit 1 and it'll open up this. So then after that, you're going to want a cool quiver like this one to reload your bow faster, which is a huge... After you've shot, it's a huge difference if you just have a quiver that you have arrows loaded into. So again, you want to follow that same strategy until you have all the materials. Then you craft your quiver. And then once you have your quiver, you hover over your quiver and equip it. And once it's equipped, then you hold tab again and you can select it. And then you hold F to fill it with arrows. You don't have any arrows yet, but I'll teach you how to make those next. You don't have any arrows yet, but to make arrows, it's very simple. Just craft, and all it takes is wooden logs, and then you can craft as many as you want in pairs of 2, at which point you can then fill your quiver with arrows, and now you draw much faster for your bow, which is an essential for combat. So the next thing I'm going to teach you to make is very important. They are the lifeblood of any combat situation, whether you have a bow or you don't. It's bandages. To make bandages, you're going to want to harvest flax plants. You see here, I'm on top of the cliff. Okay, I slid down. Okay, gotta redo that one. You can see here, I'm on top of the cliff. And now I've fallen. And now you notice I have a significant decrease in health. A bandage will heal a little bit above half of your health. If you heal somebody else, it'll heal their full health. Then you're going to want like a cool melee weapon that you can do tons of damage with. There's a lot of different takes on what melee weapon is the best. So I think the easiest to use is going to be an axe. So then once you have your materials, here again you're going to need to use a rock to make your tribal war axe. So once you have your war axe, you're going to want to equip that, and then you're probably going to want to put it on a hotkey because natives only have their bows and a melee weapon that they can get easily. So now that you have your melee weapon, and you have your bow, and you have your bandages, you're pretty much ready for combat at that point. But if you don't want to die, you're going to need food, and you're probably going to want gear to be warmer so you can swim in cold water longer. Now, this is why it was so crucial to get your knife earlier. When you're trying to find animals to hunt, I'd recommend looking around the spawn. There's locations that they spawn in, but you're just going to have to find those locations for yourself because I'm not going to go around for hours and show every animal spawn. When you're moving around, the stamina bar at the bottom is going to be very important because it shows how much you can and can't run. Once your stamina runs out, you can't run or swing your weapon. Swinging your weapon will also remove stamina, some more than others. The war axe is by far the most that you're going to be able to get early game, so some prefer other weapons that don't 2-tap. But anyways, once you find your game, then you're going to want to shoot it with your arrows. Sometimes melee hunting works if they get glitched. And then, this is why it's important to have your knife. You're going to want to equip it and then skin the animal. It's also worth noting that you can have a tool and a melee weapon equipped at the same time. The hatchet qualifies as a melee weapon, and your knife will qualify as a tool. Here it looks like we've got another animal. Let's see if we can do some melee. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. So now we've successfully melee hunted it. We can skin this fox too. So once you have your animal skins, you can come to here, at which point we have a lot of things you can craft. The medium Seneca packs and the large Seneca packs. These are your native backpacks. Natives and colonists have different gear available. There's also all sorts of like funny hats and leathers and shirts you can make. Because there's no wolves available on the starting island called Buvial, which it's not actually an island, it's an archipelago. It's basically this map here. If you want to travel, you can craft a boat by holding V, at which point you can make structures. And then you're going to want to get the boat and then place it down. And then you can sail to the edge of the map. You can hold F to travel, though I think some islands are locked by playtime. So in your inventory, you have the storage space here. You're going to need a backpack if you want that to be a serious amount. So I'm going to show you how to make a backpack on Buvial, which is the starting island archipelago here. So this trail is actually going to lead us most of the way there, but just in case, you can watch this. So now here, I'm going to show you a trick that by the time you're watching this may or may not still be in effect, where you're going to want to aim backwards and then hold W so you're moving towards the wall. And then on slippery surfaces, you will slide down at a slower speed because when you're aiming, it halts you in place. Once you've slid down a cliff, or you can just take the easy way and go around. There's also a deer here if you want to hunt it. He might spawn somewhere in this vicinity. So once you follow this path, it's going to lead you to here, where there's a little bit in the caves here. If you have a torch, you can equip it and use it, or you can craft a torch if you don't already have one. It's a light source, though I'd recommend adjusting your brightness, because the thing about a torch is that it shows off your location as well. So once you enter this cave, see a bear here. You might have to turn your brightness up, because once you no longer hold your torch and you switch to your bow, you won't be able to see anything anymore. So to hunt the bear, you're going to want to stay as far away from it as possible on high ground, and then hold your bow, hold R to sort of aim it, and then you hold left click, and then your bow will zero in on the bear. Natives have advanced accuracy with bows, as well as extra stamina, and once the bear is charging at you, you've really got to get your arrows in. Thankfully, because of this cliff, he's taking a while to get up here, though it appears he is making some very slow progress, though sometimes they can get off cliffs, so make sure you kill it fast. Also, headshots to the animal will do more damage. Bears will 2-tap you, but you will have a chance to get up. Okay, this bear looks more like a porcupine, but that's fine. Once you've killed the bear and it stops moving, make sure it stops moving and is not alive before approaching the bear. Because you are a native, there's no professions, meaning you can skin, mine, and chop everything with no skill barrier. So once you do that, you can hunt the bear. He may look like a porcupine, so you'll have to pick up the arrows you shot into him, along with all sorts of cool goodies. What you'll get from that of some color of a bear pelt. There are different rarities, and depending on the pelt, you can sell the pelts to players who will be willing to pay for some of the more rare ones, like azure, crimson, white, or black pelts are really rare. People will probably buy them. So once you're back at the safe zone and you have your bear pelt, open up the canning rack, and here we can see for our thing, we now have a bear pelt for our large Seneca pack, but we need a lot of fiber string and some logs. Alright, so now you've got your materials, you then craft it, and then to equip it, you just hit F, and then you can see here, your max goes up by a significant amount, and when you're max, you're not at your max, you can't sprint, and you're encumbered. You can still like swing your weapons and stuff, but overall you're just going to be a lot slower, and I would not recommend any form of combat whatsoever like this. If you're on an island where gear is lootable, then if you're encumbered and you die, you'll probably lose a lot of your items, so I would not recommend walking around encumbered on any island. Oh, he's lag. I gotta redo this again. Stop lagging. I can't hit a bird out of the air if it's... Bruh, how am I supposed to do this? You need to go at the consistent pace if I'm gonna hit you. Okay, he's getting too far. We just gotta launch. Okay, oh, okay, he's back to lagging again. Okay, well, it was 5th try. Player combat's also a big thing. Here, there's a safe zone for natives, so once you explore out further, you won't have a safe zone, so you can be killed, but not looted. We do not wish to trade with outsiders. Well, you heard it here first. You guys just got the native tutorial from someone who's an outsider and not a native. I don't make the game code decisions. I just speculate at them and wonder what buffoon put this here. Alright, well, if you like this video, you can also check out my colonist tutorial in case you were debating being a colonist. You can also check out my other Northwind videos. There might be more someday. Or you can check out my Ravenfield videos. Alright, I'll see you guys later.